welcome to my video on why and how I use my money belt that I designed and developed myself. I designed this innovative money belt to be the most comfortable. The reason it's the most comfortable is because it sits in a natural position of your front pocket. Most money belts sit higher to the waist, so when you sit down, it's very uncomfortable. My design includes a belt which sits lower in a natural position in the front pocket, so when you sit down during the day, when you travel, it's very comfortable when you're storing your passports, your credit cards, and your large amounts of money. And what you need to think about is how much you sit down during the day when you travel. What's the first thing you do when you leave your hotel room? You sit down and have breakfast. What do you do after breakfast? You sit down in transportation, a taxi, a train, a bus, maybe an airline. So you're sitting down early in the morning like that. Midday, what do you do? Mid-morning, what do? You sit down and take a break. What do you do at lunchtime? You sit down and have lunch. In the afternoon, you sit down and rest. What do you do at evening? You sit down at dinner, okay? After dinner, you might be sitting down to a show, you might go to a bar, you might rest or whatnot. Just think how often you sit down during the day, and you want your money belt to be very comfortable because you want to use it, because you want to protect pickpocketers against stealing your money, your credit cards, and your passport. Why use a money belt? There's several reasons why you want to use the money belt. The number one reason is the number one crime against travelers is a non-violent crime. The number one type of non-violent crime is pickpockets. Okay, so you want to guard yourself against it. Okay, other reasons is RFI protection. What's RFI? It means they can basically steal your information electronically. Okay, my design includes RFI protection, so you see the inside of my money belt, this shiny material. It protects people taking your information from your credit card, your smartphones, your passport with ID chips in it, so it blocks that the transmission. Okay, so make sure any money belt that you purchase, it is RFI protected. Okay, it's especially critical nowadays because a lot of the credit cards now are coming with RFI chips in them. All my credit cards just recently got updated without me asking, but that's the way it's changing in the United States. So make sure you guard yourself with RFI protection. Okay. Now, again, this video is how I use my money belt personally. I get a lot of questions from my customers how and when to use the money belt, which is a great question. After thinking about it for a while, I actually wear my money belt differently during different phases of my trip, specifically on the day of departure. And we're going to go over how I use my money belt today, and we're going to talk about limited access. I'm going to do that by budget, what I keep in my money belt, my day of departure, where I keep my money belt during the different phases of my trip, again, specifically day of departure, and how I use it on a daily basis on my holidays. Okay, so again, I'm going to use my example today more about international travel when you have your passport with you, and since I go to China every year, I'm going to be using the example of China. So first of all, the name of my product is called Hidden Pocket Belt Money Belt. Okay, the reason I call it here is the key word is hidden. Okay, I get a lot of questions. It's not a fanny pack. It's supposed to be worn underneath your pants, your shorts, your dress, your garments. Again, keep it hidden. Okay, you want to limit the exposure, and the way you want to limit your access, you want to limit your exposure, and the way you're going to do that is with a budget. I live here in Las Vegas, and last year we had 42 million visitors coming to Las Vegas. And if I walk on the strip, I can see tourists all the time taking out their money belt to buy water, to buy small items. And I see that all the time. And you shouldn't really be accessing your money belt, especially in public, especially for small purchases. Buying bottled water, buying street food, paying for taxis, paying for a bus ride. You should really budget for that and plan for that. And I'm going to tell you how I do it. I use a budget, and I physically keep money on me in 3 different areas when I travel. And the way I do that is I have a budget, okay? Because I don't want to access my money belt on a daily basis, and you don't really need to. So I'm going to use $300 for an example. So if I'm traveling and my budget for the day is $300, I'm going to take about $50 of that and put it in small bills no larger than $5 in ones of local currency and put it in my front pocket. The reason for that is, again, I don't want to show my money belt for small purchases. So if I'm buying bottled water, if I'm buying street food, I'm buying some small item at small vendors, I want to use exact cash, okay? So that's one reason where you can get scammed. If you give them a 20 or a 50 or 100, they can give you back 1 or 2 20s of counterfeit money. So when you're buying small stuff from small vendors, try to keep the exact change. And again, the reason I keep it in my front pocket is if I do get pickpocketed, if I do lose it, it comes out of my pocket by mistake, it's only a small part of my daily budget, okay? But again, I don't want to show everybody where my bulk of my money is. I just want quick, easy access for those small purchases. So again, my $300 daily budget, I'll keep $50 in here. That means I have $250 left. So I will keep $250 in my messenger bag. I like to use a messenger bag, a man's bag. You can use, obviously you can use a purse, a backpack. I just really like utilizing a messenger bag. I actually like these smaller units because I keep less in them and everything is secure and it's comfortable. So the second place I keep my 250 is, again, in my messenger bag. The third place is I'll keep the bulk of my money in my money belt underneath my pants or shorts. Again, so I'll have it in 3 locations: my front pocket for small money, my daily budget in my messenger bag, bulk of my money in my passport, credit cards in my money belt on me, okay? So that's how I can control it with my budget, and again, I limit my access. If I do go over budget, I'll just go use the toilet and access my other money in my money belt and replenish my money that I need to for the day. So don't worry about going over budget, just don't do it in the public, just try to limit your access or exposure, okay? So that's how I limit my access and my exposure. What do I keep in my money belt? I keep 2 passports for my wife and I. I'll keep 2 credit cards. I'll keep a regular credit card and I'll keep an ATM debit card. And then I'll keep large amounts of money in my money belt. I don't take all my money with me. I usually use the ATM 2 or 3 times during my trip. There are additional fees associated with that, but I usually can't bring all my money for the trip. So I usually access an ATM locally, okay? Now, again, the reason why you want to use a money belt, you want to really protect your passport. If you do lose your credit cards or your money, and if they're pickpocketed, you can replace those really quickly. Now, if you do lose your passport, again, let's use an example of international travel. If you do lose your passport, you're going to have to go to the nearest consulate, get paperwork, get emails, get copies of your passport to show them that you're a citizen to get back into the country. You'll get back into the country, but again, you're going to have to provide all that information, and you're going to waste at least a day of your hard-earned vacation worrying about your passport and getting that information to the consulate, okay? So really think about that. Invest in a money belt and keep it physically on you, okay? So now we're going to talk about the day of departure. Again, there's different phases during my day of departure, and I have to access my passport a lot during the day of departure. So the first item is going from your home to the airport counter, okay? So when you go to the airport counter, you got to take out your passport, your tickets, and check in for your flight. Again, you don't want to limit your access, your exposure, so you don't really want to pull out your money belt out. I keep it in a messenger bag. And the reason for that is, again, I'm accessing a lot during this day. And one thing I like about these messenger bags is a lot of them have a ring on the inside, and I go to the local hardware store and buy a spring-loaded clip and attach it to my belt, my money belt on my belt, which is included in my design, and snap it on the inside. The reason I do that is if I leave it unzipped and I happen to drop it, again, it's not going to fall, I'm not going to lose it. If I do leave it unzipped, somebody tries to pickpocket me at the airport, they can't do it, okay? And so for me, I love using this messenger bag. It's all my valuables are all in one central location, okay? So again, I want quick, easy access. Don't want to let everybody see my passport and my money belt. Okay, the next thing I think is one of the biggest items is going through airport security. Again, you can't walk through the airport screeners with something in your front pocket. They always tell you to take everything out. So you don't want to take off your money belt and put it through the x-ray machine, because then you're going to have to put it in one of those plastic bins. Sometimes it goes through first, or sometimes it's held back depending on the backlog of passengers and items getting scanned. So you really don't want to take it out and put it through the X-ray machine by itself. That's why I keep it in my messenger bag, because I keep everything in one central location. My smartphone, my headphones, my money belt, it's all in one location. Because if you put this through the X-ray machine and if it gets caught, if it gets lost, this is really small compared to this. So if somebody sees this, they may want to steal it at the security and they might want to get away if it comes out first, okay? This is going to be less likely because they won't know what's really in it, and it's a bigger item to see. And what I do as soon as I get through the scanner and get my items out through the X-ray machine, the first thing I do is grab this, because again, it has my passport and it's the most critical. I'll put it on me, then I'll grab my belt, I'll grab my shoes and put them on at that point. But that's what I love about having a messenger bag with my money belt physically in here, clipped in on the inside when you go through airport security. The next item is boarding the plane. Some airlines require you to show your passport at the gate when you actually board the plane. Again, there's no rule of thumb, but again, I want quick, easy access if I have to do it. You never know when they're going to do it. Like when I go from LA to China, they don't usually ask for my passport at that time, but when I come from China back to the United States, the people at the gate usually ask for a passport to verify the ID. So again, I want quick, easy access out of my messenger bag. Now, in flight, again, I like to keep it in my messenger bag because I gotta usually get access to my passport. I gotta have a pen in here because if you're traveling internationally, again, you usually have to fill out an arrival card. So you want to get your passport number, you want to get your visa number if the country like China requires you to get a visa for a long stay. So again, I want quick, easy access and I want to keep it on me. I never put this messenger bag or anything valuable in the overhead bins because there's a lot of people stealing passports, money, watches, everything from overhead bins, especially on an international flight when it's really dark a lot and you could be sleeping and so forth. So just be aware of that. I like to physically keep it on me. And again, these small messenger bags are great. And again, if you have to use the toilet on the airplane, just put it on you, go use the toilet, it's all set. And again, quick, easy access when you're sitting down to get information about your passport. Then, once you finally land, you're at your destination, which is awesome, you have to go through immigration. Again, you have to show your passport. So again, I go to the counter, I want quick, easy access to my passport and keep it with me, okay, in my messenger bag. Now, you see it highlighted here in red. This is where I'll actually change it. I will remove it from my messenger bag and physically put it on me. And the way I do that is you're waiting for your bags coming from your international flight. You're usually waiting a half an hour, 45 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll go use the toilet, freshen up, wash my face, use the toilet, actually unclip it from here and physically put it on me underneath my pants. And the reason I do that is I physically want it on me at this time because when you finally do get your bags, you're going to have your hands full. You want to make sure you don't lose your messenger bag. So keep your passport, your money belt physically on you at this time. This is where I make that change. And then you go through customs. Sometimes you have to show your passport, sometimes you don't. Usually you do not have to. Only United States, when you're going through customs, the United States are really picky. They want you to show everything. But internationally, I really never ever had to show my passport. Again, that could change. It's all different every country. Now, the reason I physically want it on me is as soon as you go outside baggage claim from an international airport, that's usually a secure area. You're safe. You don't have to worry about just random people coming up to you asking you for rides, asking you for tours and so forth. So, but once you leave baggage claim and customs from an international flight, you're open into the whole world, right? So you have to get transportation outside the airport. Are you taking a train? Are you taking a bus? Are you taking a taxi? You're going to have a lot of people coming up to you, and you might be in a foreign country like China, which has a language barrier. So you're going to get bombarded with a lot of things going on at this time. And again, you want to physically keep it on you because the state of mind that you're in, you're going to be your senses are going to be overload because you're going to be on jet lag. If you go into China, you're flying halfway around the world, and jet lag is a major effect on your body. So you're going to be excited that you're finally on vacation, you're tired, your senses are in overload, you got language barriers on there, you want to get to your hotel as soon as possible so you can change and really start your vacation holiday at this time. So that's why I physically want it on me. And again, if you're taking a long taxi ride, a long train ride, or a long bus ride, you could fall asleep and misplace this on the train, the bus, or whatnot. And I want to physically keep that passport, my credit cards, and my money on me at all times. And then when you finally get to your destination in your hotel, then you'll pull out your money belt to show your passport to check in. And again, you don't want to lose your passport at this stage because it's the beginning of your trip and you're going to need your passport throughout your trip. And then every day during my vacation, I will physically keep it on me. And every day to limit my exposure, I will, before I go out in the morning, I will replenish the money in my budget. I'll keep $50 in my front pocket, my $250 in my messenger bag, and the bulk of my money in my money belt underneath my pants or shorts with my credit cards and my passport. Okay, and I do the reverse when I go back to the United States. So again, just to recap, the reason why you want a money belt is the number one crime against travelers is a non-violent crime. The number one type of non-violent crime is pickpockets. They want to steal your information, your credit cards, without you knowing it, okay? So the way they do that is with distractions. Again, you don't want to do it when you're at, you don't want to lose that passport on your trip, okay? And again, if you're interested in my money belt, more details about my money belt that I currently sell on the following websites, especially my website, which has the best price on fangmartin.com. All my products are available for sale on my website. It's available on eBay and Amazon and the other sites here listed here. So if you are interested on it, again, those are the places to purchase it. And if you are traveling to China and you're looking for tips on traveling to China, check out my website. I created it to sell my products and also to give travelers tips when they're going to China because I go once a year. My wife is Chinese. So we go back and we see a lot of local culture in China. So if you have any specific questions about China, please send me an email on my website and we'll definitely respond to your email. Again, thanks for watching my video. And again, travel smart and travel safe. Thank you.